Linda and Alyssa back here with you for our Wednesday workplace wellness conversation. And I'm particularly excited today because we're talking about the energy of your environment and how that supports you. Alyssa, hi, great to see you again.
Yes, likewise, Linda. I'm excited about this topic because I know you know a lot about it and you're here to give us great tips. So I'm going to be asking a lot of questions for myself.
Good. I love questions. Anybody, you watch this, if you have questions, send them to me. I always love questions. So, first of all, I want to mention I've been doing this. So, I studied to become a feng shui practitioner almost 27 years ago. And so I've been doing this for a long time. And even though I don't actively go out and do feng shui consultations anymore, I do long distance consultations. And I always include this as an aspect uh, during my coaching calls with people because what I want people to understand is that this isn't just about making your space look nice or even just making it feel nice. It goes so much deeper than that. You are so connected, your environment, your workspace, your home environment, they are connected to you. They have such a major impact on you. And I love working with them because when you make changes, when you make the right changes in your environment, you start to see results very quickly. So it's a great way. That's why I like to usually start with this when I work with people, because then they start to feel the changes. They start to see the changes very quickly. And
Tell me
just
about Feng Shui. What's Feng Shui for those people that don't know what it is, and how can that help us in our environment?
well, it is feng shui. Literally translated means wind and water, and it is an ancient Chinese philosophy. It's been around for thousands of years, and it, it's been brought to the West, and we've kind of adapted it for the way we live in the West because obviously, we're not, we don't live in the same way. We don't have the same culture as Chinese. But essentially, what it is, if you take away the term, all it is looking at, paying attention to, and really knowing and understanding how what is happening with the energy in your environment and how it is impacting you now. So if somebody tells me I've got an issue with my relationships or with finances, I can look at their home and I can see energetically what is impacting that, and how if we make a change there energetically, that will open things up for them in that particular area of their life. So essentially it's a phenomenal personal growth tool. When you're on any journey of self-improvement, it will help you because there's always something you can do in your environment. And just to highlight for people, I have written a few books on feng
Eight
shui.
of them, by the way.
Yeah, that's my very first one, feng shui for your relationships. And in that, I talk about all kinds of relationships. It's not just your romantic relationships. I talk about your business relationships and their family relationships, everything. And then I have a whole series of other feng shui tips books. One for your new home, one for selling your home, one for your health, and one for your income. So um, I have a lot of experience. I have 27 years worth of experience of this. I've seen so many transformations come about as a result of this. So let me go ahead and share some thoughts with you. So we're going to talk about two things today. One is your workspace, and okay, I think we probably all agree that we work better, we feel better, we feel more confident when our workspace is cluttered, when it looks nice, and we feel good in there. So that even just that little piece there helps you have feel more motivation and confidence and just have better energy when you are working. Another thing people don't often think about is, and this is true whether you work from home or not, whether you work somewhere else, is the impact that your home, the connection that your home has to your general well-being and to your success. And so I never separate them. Yes, we look at what you can do in your workspace, but we also look at what can you do in your home to support you in your career or in your business, wherever that is or whatever that is. So I just want to get that clear right at the beginning. It's that it's so much more than what it looks like, and just organizing is so much more than that. So I'm going to share some of the little things you can do quickly and easily. Does that make sense, Alyssa?
Makes sense. And I also would like to know, for example, now that our workspace have shifted, especially because of the pandemic, more people have been working more remotely or have a hybrid schedule, and they may have a office space in their physical office, but they may have to they may have changed things around their own home to have their space. So, how can we adapt those spaces, especially when we don't have maybe a full room for ourselves? How can we make it better? And maybe you can share some tips for us.
Yeah, so it is important if you are working from home that you have a dedicated space. Now, you may not be able to have a whole room. Ideally, you'd have a whole room, you'd have a separate office. That would be the ideal situation. But sometimes you can't do that. For example, I remember working with a woman who had a personal training business. And so she would go to people's homes and train them. But her office, she had an apartment, and her office in her apartment was actually, she said it was very ingenious. She set it up in the closet. But here was the thing, you see, because she wasn't getting clients, and it was like, energetically speaking, what I saw, that she's kind of hiding away in the closet. So what I wanted her to do was bring the office out of there, so she wasn't in energy terms hiding
Right.
away.
Yes.
And so she created a space in her living area, uh, sectioned it off with what do they call, panels or screens, so that it was kind of separate from the rest of her living space. And she set up her office there, and that made a world of difference. So it does make a difference. Even if you can't have a separate room, you can still set yourself up successfully, but you need to create, even if it's the illusion of that separate space, right? And that space should be um, yours. It should be the place where you come. It's just like if you were going to an office, in another location. You should treat it like that. Okay, I'm in my office space now. I am going to work, and it doesn't matter that your kitchen's just out there, right? You've got that screened off, and so what you see around you is your workspace. Does that make sense?
It makes sense and it resonates because I mean, that type of situation. I'm actually in my daughter's room. I don't have a full office for myself, but half of the room it's my office with my desk, my screens, and I have what you see behind. It's my divider. So I
Mm.
make that like physical division between her stuff and my stuff.
Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly what you want to do. And you've done a very good job just intuitively knowing that. Because often what I see is like if you have to set up in the kitchen or in a living space, it's just a table, like the dining room table, for example, but it's open. And so you have all the other household things and people coming and you can be interrupted at any time just because of what's going on around you. So you also want to make it clear when you're in this space to other people who live with you that you are at work now. Okay, because think of it energetically. If not, if you're just in an open space, say at the dining room table, and people are coming and going, they're asking you questions, and you're listening to the sounds of dinner being prepared, and all of those things going on, it's almost like energetically you are saying, well, I'm not really taking this seriously. It's not really as important to me. But when you have a dedicated space, you're saying, this is important to me. And I am at work when I am here. And so I see it as you're setting yourself up for success when you do something like that. Um, just for an example for you, Alyssa, one thing I'd like to see for you is if you could put behind you onto the screen something that reflects what you do. Okay, so so you can see behind me, I have my books, right?
Yeah.
I have the energy chart. So for me, I'm all about energy. I've written books, and so this is um, this sort of gives people a little clue about what I do. So maybe there's a tapping chart or something that mentions EFT, or perhaps you have a sign for your business or something like that would be really good to have behind you, because that just energetically points people in that direction, and it creates that around you. So it just adds more to your own success.
Yes, that's a very good tip. I have it on my virtual background.
Ah,
The one
okay.
that you can create on Canva or any of these tools. But here I find it a little bit more challenging because
Yes.
of the type of material that I
Yeah.
have. But yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
And
maybe there's
going
something you
back,
could hang over the top,
yeah,
or
maybe a
you know, something
sign or something.
something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But going back to what you were saying about that designated space, I remember during the pandemic, it was very challenging because my husband was working from home. I was working from home, and our 5-year-old son, who just had started kindergarten, was
Was
doing
home.
was home and was doing homeschooling. So,
Yeah.
and I had a newborn baby. So it was a it was total chaos where we had
Mm,
to make decisions like, okay, I will continue working from the room. My son will be in the living room. We will be taking turns to help him. But at one point my husband was in the living room, and then yes, it was challenging. I don't know why he lasted so long in that setting. I wouldn't have lasted one day.
mm.
I need my
Well,
space.
I
And
think one of the things we learned in the pandemic is to, people were on the Zoom calls, they had their baby, they had a child coming in and talking to them. And I think that was okay, right? Because even if you have a dedicated working space, it doesn't mean a young child can't come in. It doesn't mean you can't be holding your baby while you're talking, because this is who you are. You are a mother or a father, and you are doing this job as well. And so it's part of who you are. It's not exactly saying um, my work isn't important, because it's saying, there are some times when you have to be in that kind of situation. And I think we all became more accepting of that during the pandemic, and that became more okay. I know for me, although I do have a separate office space, when I had cats, I had one cat in particular. It seemed whenever I was doing a webinar or something talking about energy, he liked to come in and he would want to sit on my lap. And initially I used to think, oh no, I have to put him down. But people actually loved it. And I would get emails saying, oh, how's Flugel? How is he? And so just became part of me and what I bring to what I do. A couple of other things I want to mention. When in your working space, now I worked with people with huge offices, I've worked with people with cubicles, and often people think, oh, there's nothing I can do. I only have a small cubicle space. I have a very tiny space. But if you have, the smaller the space, the more organized it needs to be. And what I would suggest is that in your workspace, you want to have around you only things that are current and that you need on a daily basis for the work that you do. So in your little space there, for example, even though it may be small, you don't want to have household bills in there. You don't want to have things from a job you used to do a long time ago. It needs to be what you do now. It needs to be current energy, if you like. And then the other thing I want to mention, because I'm very aware that we're running out of time, is don't forget the role that your home plays in your success and well-being. And I'm going to tell you, I think the first and most important area in your home is your bedroom. It's always the bedroom. I always like to start there. Why? Because it is the room that is closest to you and it has the biggest impact on you. So if you go into your bedroom and you look around and you ask yourself, okay, what do I love about this room? What do I not like about it? So if it's cluttered and disorganized, you've got stuff everywhere, for example, this is what you see when you wake up. It's what you see when you go to bed. It creates that chaotic kind of energy in you, and that's how you feel as you're going about your day-to-day life. And so in terms of that, will affect your health and well-being, creates more stress and anxiety, and it also affects your success, because it means you feel either stuck and stagnant in what you're doing, or it means you feel kind of scattered. So that's a place, as well as looking at your workspace and how you really want your workspace to represent who you are and what you do, and so that you feel good and you feel successful when you go there. And then you want your bedroom to be a calm, nurturing, kind of sanctuary like place for rest and relaxation, because that's going to impact your health in a very positive way, which in turn will have a positive effect on your success levels in
Yes.
all areas of life, not just work.
Yes. And when you have, for example, husband, wife working from home, which is my case, and then the kids, it's like sometimes it feels frustrating to me that I can't have everything organized.
Mm.
So I came to the agreement that there is so much I can control in certain areas, but at least my area needs to be organized.
Yes.
Can't do much about the kids' toys sometimes.
Right.
Although I would love to have it really organized.
There's the ideal, what we'd really like, and then there's real life, and the
Yes,
reality is that when you have children, you're going to have things around, and that's okay. And I think we have to make peace with that, because otherwise, what happens is that creates more stress and
yes,
anxiety within you, because you're thinking, oh, I want it to be all clear and organized. But the reality is that can't happen. It needs to be, you live there, you have children, it will get messy sometimes. So
right.
you do the best that you can. But the most important thing in terms of your well-being and I think your success at work is those two spaces. If you have that space as your workspace and no toys come in there, nothing else comes in there. But I would also look at the bedroom and make sure I wouldn't bring the toys and all of those things into your bedroom, so that
Right.
that is a calming space.
Right. They have their space for their toys.
Mm.
And that's one thing that one rule that I enforce, that you
Yes.
keep those in your room, and then you need to organize your room. I'll help you, but but
Yes.
my space is my space. They want to
Yeah.
come here sometimes and play with my office stuff,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
they gotta respect that no.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. I think that's perfect. I think you're doing a really good job with that, and I am very aware that we just gone over time. So
Talk about this forever. I still have
yeah.
so many questions, but
Well,
Lisa, tell
you
us
know,
about your resources where we can read
yeah.
more about, because this is a big topic and we can learn so much.
Well, it is a big topic, and if enough people are interested, I'm more than happy to do a webinar, a workshop, or something on this. So if you would be interested in that, drop a note in the comments or let me know. I have a tip sheet, which is a Feng Shui for Business Success tip sheet. I'm happy to send that out to anybody who would like a copy of that. So again, just mention that. I also have a course, Feng Shui Success course. If you're really interested and you want to learn a lot more, there's that self-study course as well. Or you can always talk to me about your Feng Shui concerns, and I'd be happy to share how I might be able to help you. But so there's so many things that you could do, or you can go on my website and find one of the books on there if there's one that resonates with you. So and it's lindabins.com is my website. So next week I believe we're talking about vacations, aren't we?
Yes, vacation. Are you able to disconnect when you go on vacation, or are you still checking your emails and
Mm,
responding to phone calls and
yes.
participating in meetings?
Yes, that's going to be a good conversation as well. There can be a lot of stressful energy around that. So,
For sure.
anyway, yes, thank you. And anybody has questions or would like any more feng shui resources, just reach out, let me know. Happy to provide that. And we will see you same time next week. And we'll talk about vacations. Thanks so much, Alyssa. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye.
Bye.